What up, boys? What up, boys?
What's going on, Johnny?
Woo, enjoying these holidays, boy. Enjoying these holidays. Celebrate holiday. You know how it is. That's how we do it up in here in the Lion's Den. 2024, baby.
Booyah.
As old Wolfman Jack would say, coming at you, baby.
It's a new year, new resolutions.
No, we don't do resolutions here at the Den. We do resolve.
That's right.
We're all about resolve, no resolutions here at the Lion's Den. 2024.
Big difference, man. People don't realize it, but there's a difference.
Preach it, Ray. Preach it.
Big old difference.
It's good to bring in a new year with y'all.
Yeah,
Always. Best damn friends I ever had.
Yeah, man. The only friends I ever
Brothers.
The only friends you have left.
I know that's a lie. I've been to your Christmas party.
It's the only ones you have left. Look at your T-shirt.
I run a lot of them off.
Not,
You got to look at the old photos. There's some people just ain't there anymore.
he's not for everyone, everyone.
That's my T-shirt. Not for everyone. This was a complimentary gift from my boy, the Maina.
Maina. Oh, yeah. That's
So I'm
Saw the shirt,
sporting
thought
a
of
gift from the old Maina Mike.
So what about my gift, man? You sporting it?
Oh, dude, I haven't even cracked that one.
No?
Yet. Oh, that's a special occasion.
You gotta let me know.
That's a special podcast. We're gonna have to crack that one up with a boy.
I know you like your JD, so I was trying to take you to another level.
Oh yeah. My brother's like, oh, when are we gonna open that? I'm like, I'm Irish, bitch. I ain't French.
Is there a mouse in your pocket?
We ain't no wee going on over here, brother. No. Me is going to open it with my boys at the podcast.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy how every year people, they get this mindset of, oh, this year's New Year's resolution. You got the definition. I know you looked that up earlier. The difference between resolution and resolve, because I want to kind of share that with our listeners, because that's where we're going tonight. That's what we're going to talk about, because there is a big difference between the two.
Yeah, let's start with the resolution since we're in the new year right now. So the definition for resolution: noun, the state or quality of being resolute, firm determination, a firm decision to do something. Yeah, that's kind of broad.
Mm-hmm.
A course of action determined or decided on, the act of solving or explaining a problem or a puzzle, the resolving of concluding of a dispute or disagreement, the part of a literary work. That one doesn't matter. A former statement. Yeah, those last two don't matter. So we get the picture from the first one.
Yeah. So the biggest difference
to have a resolution is to decide. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, no,
decide to head towards.
Let's let the main of Mike.
I got to do something here.
Do something.
All right, so
2024. Will you do something?
So now we're going to resolve.
I stole it from someone else. No. Well, actually, do the definition of resolve.
Go ahead with the
resolve, and then I'll do the comparison between.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, all right. So now, definition of resolve. Man, I'm getting old. We gotta zoom in.
Damn, I thought I was.
Get them readers.
All right, now here's the key.
Get some of them goggles like Mike's got over there.
To make a firm decision about, to decide or express by formal vote, to cause a person to reach a decision, to change or convert, to find a solution, to solve. You see what we're getting at here?
Mm-hmm.
We see what we're getting at? To bring to a usually successful conclusion.
Okay. So with all that said, Mike, what is the basic premise of the difference between resolution and resolve?
Yeah, well, I stole this because I'm an unoriginal bastard.
We know that.
So here we go.
I mean, the new year ain't going to change that.
So a resolution is defined as a decision to do or not do something, and resolve is defined as a firm determination to do something.
So it's a difference between thinking about doing something and actually doing it.
Right.
Okay? Or not doing something. Like, I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to wake up next to some stranger in my bed.
Well, the world needs resolve. Doesn't need any more resolutions.
Right.
Amen
exactly.
to that.
I mean, just ask Planet Fitness about that. There's a lot of resolutions filling the door on January 1, but the resolve's going to be there February 1.
I sent
January 2.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Well, I'm trying to be nice right now. I mean, I'm trying to turn over a new leaf 2024.
Now, usually I've done some research on this one. It's usually about a week. Someone lasts a week and then they're done. So then they move the machines all out of there, and they usually bring in extra machines, extra staff, extra everything
for a week.
And then after that, sometimes they do it a month. They give it a month. but it really depends because they usually offer up like, oh, New Year, we're gonna offer like $1 membership and stuff like that. And it's funny, I sent John a video of like, you ready for this? January 1st, we're going back. And you see just people just doing ridiculous things with machines.
He sent the same thing.
Some guys hanging
Instagram.
hanging on the on the pull-up bar.
Oh yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people that have a lot of great ideas,
Right.
and
Yeah.
that want to say they want to do certain things.
Yeah.
But what we need is men that are going to do something.
Yeah.
Stuff.
They have a lot of resolutions.
Yes.
But they don't have any resolve.
It's like, I want to do this. I want to do.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna give it hell for a week or two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like you said earlier, if you're not convicted to do something or to not do something,
Yep.
it's merely a resolution resolution. You know, it's an idea. It's a, you know what, this is actually what's best for me. I should do this.
It's easy to quit an idea.
It is. Yeah, exactly.
So a good thing to add to this is that I found it's called the power of 4. If you do something 4 times a week, not 0, not 1, not 2, not 3. If you do something 4 days a week, it becomes a habit.
Now hang
Up
on
to
a second.
21 days total, it really turns into a real habit.
All right.
Go ahead.
Now I know sex is not included in
No,
because you know I've tried that. I was
That's a
like,
habit I'd like to get out
I
on.
was like, maybe 4 times a week it'll be a habit. You know, come on.
You got to actually have sex to make that stat.
I mean, I got to do it 4 times a week just to get her past having a turned stomach when the lights are on. You know, like, look, this is going to get better. The lights are going to be off. I'll take my clothes off
So
quicker.
we could do 4
I'll
times
last
a week.
longer, I promise.
No. She's like,
Power
don't do
of
that.
4.
Right. No, I've heard that.
Yeah,
I've
the
heard
power
that
of
before
4.
too. Yeah,
it's true. And it's crazy. If you do it 3 times a week,
it won't stick.
It doesn't stick.
You know,
So you get that
I
one
can't skip
extra
over what
time.
you said about the lasting
Yeah,
longer.
go ahead.
Because I keep seeing all these damn commercials on TV. Take this blue pill, you'll last for hours. Do this, and you'll be up like you've never been before. She'll not know who the man she's been with is who she is with now. It's like, shit, I tried to talk to my wife about, hey, you want to do this? It's like, hell no.
Hell no.
Shit, who's got 4 hours?
Yeah, if you're over 4 hours, though, you're supposed to call
Yeah,
somebody.
call
And I
somebody.
never got a damn phone call
Hey,
from you.
I tell you
The
what,
hell's the problem?
I tell you what, if it's over 4 hours, I'm calling the news. I'm calling everyone. Like, come
4
take a look.
hours, shit. 4 hours. I got to work tomorrow. I don't know what you're talking about.
You'd be too tired to rub one out, you know?
Well, dude,
I mean, I wouldn't even put my wife through that. Her pushing me off for her for 4 hours. Shit, I'll tell you what, she'd be physically
4
fit
minutes,
when it was
John,
all said and
4
done.
Like
minutes.
Spider-Man and shit.
You know-
Power of 4 minutes.
you know they started giving that to the men in the nursing homes.
Uh-huh.
Keeps them from rolling out of bed.
Oh, the kickstand. Yeah, yeah.
Kickstand.
Sorry. Okay, back
I'll
at it.
tell
Back
you,
at
we're
it.
going back, get back on
Right.
track.
I thought you were
I'm
talking
just
about the villages. All right.
But,
go ahead.
but yeah, no, I have heard the
loofah.
the 4 thing. Yeah, I've actually heard that before. Yeah, because you know 3 times, like you said, is just a resolution. 4 times it becomes a result.
I heard like
There you go.
I heard like 18 times. You do something 18 times in a row. It becomes a habit.
I think it's 21. Go with that.
Dude, we're just going
Who
up
cares?
and up and
None
up.
of us are good at math.
You know
Just
what?
forget it.
21, 25.
I lose
30.
count after 4 anyway.
done,
So
I'm
what
done.
does it matter?
Don't go off of Mike. I mean, he's a statistician and never has any stats. So don't you go off of him with numbers. I'll tell you right now.
They're in my book.
Yeah.
They're in my book, in his diary.
My diary. I got a
Okay.
diary.
All right, back at it. Back at it. Sorry, guys.
Get back on track. But the point that we're trying to make is, those that are listening, is like, it's great to have ideas of doing something,
Mhm.
but where the rubber really meets the road is actually doing it.
Right.
Having the resolve to make it happen. And you know what? I mean, for a lot of men out there that are listening to today or tonight or tomorrow, whatever it is, or whenever it is you listen to this podcast, you know, we need men to make some firm decisions
Yeah, some resolves.
that are going to be willing to do whatever it takes to make that change and marinate in that. Because we're living in a culture today right now where we need men with resolve.
Yeah.
We've got too many guys out there, and I'm going to use the word men. They're just little flip-floppers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They can't make their damn mind up, you know? I was, you know, I got to be straight about something. I went out with some friends last weekend, and we went around Disney Springs, which, you know, I'm not big on Disney, but that's my own personal preference. Will say I didn't spend a dime there because that's not what I do. My buddy bought me booze from over there.
I'm not the buddy.
Yeah, and it wasn't Mike. It wasn't a man of Mike. But I'm going to tell you something. I was looking around out there at the dudes out there. We're in trouble.
Yeah.
We are in trouble because this culture we live in today keeps talking this bullshit about toxic masculinity, and right now we're just looking for masculinity.
Right.
Because the girls are a lot more masculine and a lot more aggressive than the dudes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, I was looking around and I was telling my wife, I'm like, is it just me or is this like, and I'm not the most built masculine dude myself. You know, like when you talk about exterior, I mean, on the inside, I rage like a lion, you know what I mean?
Right.
On the outside, I can purr like a little cat, you know, but the intentionality of who I am and my personality and who I am as a core of a person is very aggressive. But I'm looking at these dudes and I told her, so, you know, when I was a kid coming up, everybody wanted to be big and strong and couldn't wait till they could grow a beard, you know what I mean? Wanted to have chest hair and all these other things, you know?
Right.
These dudes like are wearing skinny jeans and they're smaller than their girlfriends and they walk around like they're frail. And it's like, dude, like,
Culture has changed.
Well, they're getting beat up, man.
oh, dude,
They're getting beat up.
And I'm not just saying that to be like, you know, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to judge.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going off of observation.
It's,
I mean,
it's a sign of the
very-
times.
Yeah.
These young dudes are very feminized. I'm sorry.
Well,
They
yeah.
are.
Well, the problem is it went from chauvinistic, and then it went to feminism, and now it's trying to find which way is it going.
What?
It's like, you think about it this way. I was like, you know, it used to be, that's where the toxic masculinity came from. It's like, oh, this man's trying to run everything. He's trying to do everything. And then all of a sudden it's like women are like, I want that back. I want that power. I want that to come back. So then it went to feminism. Now it's a matter of where is it going? It's more towards the feminism, but the men are the more feminine. Does that make sense? It's
I'm lost.
no, okay.
Well, no, the problem is that the men are acting like women.
Yeah. Well, that's
Because
what
they're in touch with their feelers instead of,
Exactly.
you know, being in touch with
that's
what
what-
they know.
because their
Okay,
moms
okay.
were becoming feminists because they were like, they dealt with
There's no
chauvinistic
husband.
dads. Exactly. Chauvinistic dads that were just like, do this, and are very aggressive. You know what
Okay, I
mean?
got you.
Does that make sense now?
Yeah, I'm on the same page.
And now you're being raised by a feminist. So then a feminist is, but then you're also dealing with weak husbands that are not helping the situation too.
well, and then
That's kind of where you're at.
a woman cannot. What is the word again? A woman cannot. What is it? Crap.
Instill.
No.
what?
Validate. A woman
Validate.
cannot
Mhm.
validate
Okay.
a man.
Yeah.
So she can never validate her son.
Yep.
Period.
Mhm.
There has to be another man to validate
Mm-hmm.
that man.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest problems is men are not in the relationship anymore. But a lot of it is driven by the news, the media, the politicians trying to destroy the nuclear family.
Which goes
Yeah.
back to what we're
Mhm.
talking about tonight, the lack of resolve in men.
yeah.
Men are not,
Yep.
they're not, they
There you
don't
go.
have the resolve in them anymore
Full circle.
to make sure that they push and press forward with true masculinity,
Yeah.
which is sacrificial and selfless.
With what
Yeah.
they know is real.
you know,
Yeah.
to be a protector, a provider, a lover, a friend, a
Mhm.
companion, a teacher,
Yeah.
Right.
a guide, a counselor, you know, all these different things that we're supposed to be as men for people that we have the blessing to have in our lives.
Yeah.
Instead of embracing all the roles,
Yep.
we get caught up in the ones that we're comfortable in. And that's just human nature, right? You
Right.
want to
Yeah.
kind of navigate, you kind of want to gravitate, I almost said navigate, gravitate towards the things you feel most comfortable with. So if you're physically strong, you're going to feel more comfortable gravitating towards the physicality of being a man, right? If you're intellectual, you're going to gravitate more being more of an intellectual man, right? Because you're comfortable there. That's where you kind
Yeah.
of swim comfortably. The problem is a man, a real man, doesn't have little pockets. He's all encompassing.
Right.
He has to have bits and
Mhm.
pieces of all those elements to be a true man.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you do need to be intellectual. You do need to be emotional. You do need to be caring. You need to be intentional. You need to be physical.
Mhm.
You need to be aggressive. You need to be passive. I mean, all these different elements to a man.
A man of many talents and a master of none.
Right.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
you've got to make sure that you're able to have the wisdom and discernment that you need to go into that tool bag of all those different things and pull them out at the right time.
Yeah.
And that's where the trick comes in of being a true man.
Well, that's what I had a conversation with during my mother-in-law's Christmas Eve brunch with a man that I haven't seen in a couple years. And we got to talking about what it is to be a man. And I told him, I said, you know, what's funny? I said, it's easy to be male.
Mhm.
You got a pecker on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're
a man.
considered a male.
Yes.
I said, it is tough to be a real man.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
You know, you can call him a man, you can call him a male, whatever. That's easy. But to
Mhm.
actually be a real man,
Yep.
you got to have some really broad shoulders to be a
Mhm.
real man. You've got to be humble. You've got to be caring. All the things that you just listed previously. And to think about that, people are like, oh, I'm a man. Now really think about, are you really a man?
And how to swim in that confidently.
Yeah.
To know that you can handle the situation because you do have this mixed bag of tricks, so to speak, that you can pull from, or tools.
Yeah.
You can pull from as a man, right?
Yeah.
And what's funny too is you've got the flip side, what's going on with our culture. You got these guys that are coming out talking about pro masculinity, which is great.
Yeah.
And you see all these different podcasts or these shows, and they'll bring these girls on and show how women are all about money and this and that. But at the end of the day, they're not going to go after the things they can't get, and they're not going to go after the people that aren't willing to give them. So at the end of the day, it's still men that are the problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
So even these guys that want to brag about, well, I'm a successful businessman, I'm in great shape, I'm a G, I'm a this, I'm a that. Let me tell you something. If you're using your money to pick up a broad, you're a simp.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, at the end of the day, if you get, that's all you got is okay. Or you go off the fact that what you got is what's going to make you a G or whatever. No, it's the man that you are on the inside.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that women are attracted to more than anything is confidence.
Yep.
Confidence and
And
security.
the second thing that most women like to drawn to, and it's a fact, is humor.
Yeah.
Women are attracted to men that make them laugh. If they're confident, they make them laugh. And then they also want to be with a man that's going to be competent, right?
Right.
A provider, stability, responsible, and also a protector. They want to know they're with a guy that's going to,
not
protect
run
them,
the other way.
And the problem is we don't have a lot of dudes in our world today that have the resolve to be that type of a man.
No.
We get caught up in, okay, I'm going to make a New Year's resolution to hit the gym all this year so I can become a more muscular dude. And that's going to make me more of a man.
does
No,
not make
dude,
you a
you're
man.
still a little boy with a lot of muscles.
Right.
And sometimes beards.
I'm going to make a resolution that I'm not going to do this, but then you replace it with that.
Right.
No, dude, you can't tell me that you're going to give up pizza, but now you're eating double cheeseburgers, okay? You can't tell me that you're going to give up drinking beer, but I look over and you're drinking vodka and tonic.
So,
Right. Less
You know
calories.
what I'm saying?
I mean,
You're not giving up anything. You know what I'm saying?
What's vodka?
Vodka.
You want to start that shit, huh? You want to start that?
Yeah, I want to start that.
so John,
Well, it's not
What the
Patron.
hell is
It's
vodka?
not Patron, Freddie.
Oh.
Oh, well, that's English. I understand.
Yes, sure. Well, that's actually Mexican.
John, when you said it was about selflessness, that's what it is, about responsibility. That's what makes a man. You can be as big as you want. You can be as, you can be as jacked as you want. You can say, oh, I got this, I got all these women. No, it's being responsible for other people than just yourself.
Okay, when you think about it from this perspective, okay, you talk about selflessness.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how big, how bad you are. A selfless person is going to put themselves
Correct.
in between you and the threat,
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
regardless.
Yep.
Come whoop, you're going to come whoop my ass, beat me in the ground, whatever it may be, but you're going to get me. You're not going to get her.
Yep.
Or you're going to get me and not going to get them as far as your kids go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's where being a real man and selflessness comes in. We get caught up in thinking, well, whoever the guy is that can kick the other one's ass is the man. That's
No.
it's like I used to have a friend of mine that coming up, he thought he was all that because he could fight.
Right.
I'm like, well, put that shit on a job application and see how far it gets you.
Right.
Yeah, but I can really kick some ass. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You got zero skills doing anything else. You got zero people skills. That's okay because I kick your ass.
I kick your ass.
It's like,
You're going to be a bouncer. That's all you're going to be your whole life.
Then I kick your ass.
You're going to be a bouncer.
There's
at a bar
actually
your
a
whole life.
movie you need to see called Kick-Ass.
Kick ass.
Yeah.
Kick ass.
But my point is that's a perfect example of a mindset of, well, and there's some dudes out there, well, I can kick ass, and oh well, if you don't like it, I'll kick your ass.
Right.
Okay, that's your answer for everything.
Child.
That's not a man. That's a boy.
No.
I heard a good analogy about men are like trucks. If you put, let's see, I wrote it down so I wouldn't mess it up. Men are like trucks. The only way to straighten them out is to actually give them a load, meaning responsibility. Like put a load in the back of the truck so they stay straight. Because I don't know, that's an example. You never heard that?
No, but dude, I just went way
I know.
another wrong direction.
I tried not to word it with the word load.
What
and
the
I was
hell
trying
did
to find
you
a way
just say,
to,
Mikey?
No. All right.
Dude,
Good
this is
God.
a man's podcast,
All
bro.
right.
No.
You got to explain,
So-
man. I don't play with no
See,
erections.
You've got to give them a duty, a job,
Yes, a
something
job.
that they have
you
to
You
do.
got to give them something.
you said
like
duty.
Yeah, and it said duty. after load.
A truck drives better.
Yes, correct.
When
see,
it-
John, I told you I was going to read it wrong. Told you I was going to read
You
it wrong.
said you wrote it down.
I wrote it down, but
Did you write load? Did you write load in there?
I love
You
that.
got to
He's got
load
a-
something
he's
in
got
your
an
back of
excuse for
your
everything.
truck and make it actually straight now.
listen
What's
to
the matter with
Go
you,
ahead,
Ray?
go ahead.
Listen to some
Come
bitch over
on,
here.
Ray.
Go ahead.
What the hell's wrong with you?
This son of a bitch over here got an excuse for everything. Now he didn't write it down wrong. He just used a pencil and it was
I
written
wrote
small.
it too small. I wrote it too small.
I wrote it too
No,
small.
it's talking about you
Yeah,
got to
well,
load them
come
up with
on.
responsibility.
Yeah.
Right.
See,
All right.
I said in my head, do not say this way. And I said it this
You
way.
You got to give the truck some
It's,
responsibility.
it's like a car accident. Don't look. You
No, that's
can't
more like a
not
train
look.
wreck.
Exactly.
Train wreck.
Yes,
Yes.
like a train wreck.
Okay, so
But
Mike.
you know where I was going with
Yeah.
it,
So
right?
Mike has a new resolve for 2024: better penmanship.
Yes, better penmanship. I write,
Write
I
bigger
write like a
and-
doctor.
And don't
Clear.
write so damn
I
small.
write like a doctor. I was writing with pen to start, and I was like, you know what? I need pencil because I mess up so much. I was like, it's just gonna be. I need a pencil now.
He's sitting there right now. Today I read about Jesus and Paul and this and that. Mary had a little. Oh, wait a minute.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Sorry, Mike.
No. That's so true.
But like,
I have ADHD.
You got a pencil,
I just
Dick?
never been diagnosed.
when we get back to it, like you were
Yeah.
talking about what women see as masculine, and like I used to joke around with my mom and my dad. We got a pretty open relationship, and I was like, Mom, what did you ever see in Dad? Dad was 6'3", probably about 135 pounds when they met. I mean, just kind of a twig of a guy, you know what I
Just
mean?
ripped like myself.
And I was like, Mom, what did you ever see in Dad? I was like,
Mhm.
What was it? And she goes, I could see he was responsible. I could see he was motivated, and I could see that he cared. And I was like, all right. So and my mom was hot when she was young. We got some pictures of her when she was young. I was like, dang, Mom.
Daddy wasn't
Who's
playing.
your daddy?
Oh, Ray,
But-
days,
But
daddy.
that just confirms exactly what we were saying. It's not about whose ass you can kick or whatever. It's about what are your core values? What are
Yeah.
what's really in there?
What's coming out of you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's important. That's the other part of it too. I mean, when you talk about resolve, when you make the resolve to you make the decision to change, you put in the work to change. It should be for good reasons.
Well, like you said, resolve is permanent. Resolve is you are doing it. Resolution is you're thinking about it. You're going to start kind of heading that direction.
And if you don't have the right reasons to do it, you're not going to do it.
you're not going to succeed.
It's just like I
That is
could sit here
correct.
all day long and talk about, I want to lose 40 pounds for my wife. I got to want to lose 40 pounds for me.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to want to be healthier for me.
You got rid of that plumber crack, man. That's
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
hazardous. Somebody's health.
Well, if you weren't looking,
That's
you
what I
wouldn't
was
know.
thinking.
I mean, I don't know, Freddie, but if you're into use of looking at dudes when they bend over,
How can
maybe we
you,
would not have a different conversation.
How can you
This
help
ain't that kind of
not
podcast.
Looking at that amazing.
That's what I tell my wife.
physique.
That's what I tell my wife. I mean, it's just
Baby, how can you turn this down?
animal magnetism.
Look at this. Look at all of
Will you
all
look
this.
at this?
You could
Will you
miss
look
out
at
on
this? Will you look at this?
Man, we're gonna have a hard time staying on track.
Yeah, seriously.
But you get these people that want to do, or they say they want to do certain things
Yeah.
for all the wrong reasons.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Well,
And it's all grounded in selfishness and not selflessness.
Mhm.
So when you think about, well, I want to lose a bunch of weight because I want to pick up chicks. Well, that's going to last for about a week.
right. Because once you get a chick, you're gonna go right back.
Well, not only that, you're gonna once you go 2 weeks and you can't get one, you're gonna go screw it, and you're gonna be eating a cheeseburger and
Yeah.
drinking
Mhm.
Well, and another thing I've noticed about the generation coming up, and I've noticed it in my own kids, is that they love the idea of things.
Mhm.
They love the idea of playing the guitar. But when they get on the guitar and they, 2-3 weeks later, they realize this is harder than I thought. I'll just watch somebody on YouTube and appreciate what they do.
And you know what? And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to probably piss some people off, but it's the truth. That's a female quality.
The idea of things.
Women navigate in the great idea. Like
Yeah.
they love the idea of things,
Yeah.
the imagination, the unknown, the what it could be or whatever. And they love the idea of it more than they like the reality of it. Like
Yes.
I see it all the time with my mother-in-law, for instance. She'll love to plan a trip. She'll sit here for months talking about planning this trip. Oh, we're going to do this. Oh, we're going to do that. We're going to go over here. All these ideas. And you get there and it's like, you look over and she's doing nothing. It's
Yeah.
like, you've been planning this trip for months. We're here. You're doing nothing. Well, I can't do this. And well, I can't. It's like, so you were so in love and enamored with the idea of this trip.
Yeah.
But
Well, they
now the
do. They
trip's
get
here.
more joy out of planning the actual trip.
So, but what about boys? Because like I don't have any boys. I've got all daughters. So, what about boys? Do you guys see that in boys too? Like
Boys
the
that are
generation.
raised by women, yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
but boys with fathers, no, you don't see that so much.
Not all fathers, because if father's not involved, and not who's raising the kid,
Yeah.
who's raising the boy. If the
Gotcha.
mother's raising the boy, you're going to see it in the boy.
Okay, gotcha.
Mhm.
If the father's raising the boy and he's, because men are practical
You're gonna
and
see
men are
more.
logical, and that's just, most dudes you talk about, like a trip, for instance, most guys, if you're driving somewhere to go on vacation, do not count the drive as part of the vacation.
Right. Yep.
Right?
Right.
Guys think
Truth.
that's point A to point B. That's just a necessity to get to where I got to go, right?
Piss in a
Women,
bottle. We're not stopping.
women, the drive is the vacation.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
We're stopping to see this. Oh, can we do that? Oh, we can look at this. Oh, look at that. Right? I always joke with my wife, about the fact she wants to, because I was thinking about my mother-in-law, but the biggest ball of yarn or the biggest frying pan, or they want to stop and they want to see everything.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is part of the vacation. No, I'm driving. I don't want to drive. I want to get it done
I want to be
so
there.
that I can actually focus on the vacation.
Right.
That's good.
So that's just kind of an analogy of how that plays out. Now,
So-
if you grow up in that as a young boy and you don't have a father figure, that
You're gonna see it that way
you're
too.
going to see it that way. too.
Gotcha. So if you see a younger male who is driven and implements, the idea. So, I love the idea of this. I know that I have to do bop, 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 bop. Like when I was a kid, I knew I wanted to play a sport, and I knew that I sucked when I started, and I knew what I had to do to get to where I wanted to be. And I went through, I implemented all of those exercises, all of those
And you
steps.
had the resolve to do it.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Gotcha.
And that's the big difference, because you can talk about a lot of these young dudes coming up. Yeah, they'll talk all these great ideas. It's like this.
So ultimately, real quick, what has changed is the family dynamic, not so much the
Right.
dedication of the children to themselves.
No, I think it's the family dynamic.
Okay.
I think the resolve, the idea is always better than the act.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think social media has played a part in
Sure.
that too. Huge part.
Yeah.
Technology.
Yeah.
But if you're a man and you're a father and you're not involved in that, then you're not being a good father. You've
Correct.
got to be vested in your children. You got to get in there, and it's
Push
a
'em.
battle. You got to have the resolve to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I want a New Year's resolution. I want to be a better dad. Well, sure. Who doesn't want to be a better dad?
What are you
Okay?
gonna do?
What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? What are you going to implement?
What are
What
the
are you
steps?
changing about you to be a better father?
Right. Right.
You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? Oh, I'm going to be a better. I want to be a better husband. That's my New Year's resolution, to try. That's always the other word. To try to be a better husband. No, be a better husband.
Mhm.
Period.
Yep.
What steps are you gonna take?
Mhm.
What does that look like?
Yeah, have the resolve to make it happen.
Start with one thing at a time till you get it down. You know what I
Yep.
mean? I'm gonna like I did years back. I'm gonna wake up early and wake my kids up and feed them breakfast because I want to spend more time with them.
Mhm.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Do something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do it.
Yep.
Don't talk it. We live in a world where there's a lot of talking.
Yeah.
That's why if you look at this culture that we're in today, sports are on the decline because they don't have to play sports because they can do it on their Xbox or their PS5s.
And
They
they're
can,
good on there.
Yeah, and they can be whoever they want to be, and they don't have to sweat. They don't have to put in any real work, and they can win Super Bowls and basketball championships and Stanley Cups
Yep.
and World Series
Without running in a single
from the
stadium.
comfort of their own homes
in the AC.
I mean,
in the AC. I didn't even break a sweat, Dad, and I'm a World Series champion. No, dude, you played a game.
Yeah.
so
And it's go ahead.
no, I was gonna say when you brought up resolution, like that's what I made a list of was my like what could I do better. But now that you brought up the word resolve, like that's what I did this morning. Was I said, okay, I want to be a better leader in my house. I want to be able to instoke wisdom upon my kids, learning from what I've learned from other people, and wise counsel in my life. And I'm like, okay, what's the step? Step one, family dinners. Get back to the days of that family dinner. We don't have it. We have too much craziness in my house. We don't have family dinners. If I can get back to that, that will get us closer to where we need to be. And everybody's not like the house of the broken dreams. Like, living in the house, that's a great song. Like I literally told the kids to listen to the song again because that's what's going on right now is we need to all be together. We all need to work together. So that's
Yeah,
just
but
one of the-
here's the thing.
Casting crowns.
Here's the thing. I'm going to say something, and we all got to understand this.
Mhm.
Forget about them. It's about you, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
What am I? Forget about you. I'll
Yeah.
talk about me.
No,
What
no, I
is
got you.
John going to do?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I want to be a better father. Okay. What do I need to do to be a better father? What is it that I suck at? What am I not doing? Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
What is it that I know that I need to work on? Okay. Like Ray said, okay, spending more. I don't spend enough time with my children. Okay. Starting today, starting tomorrow morning, I'm getting up. I'm making breakfast for my kids. I'm getting them out of bed. I'm going to spend time with my children. I think that one of the things that we need is to be around the dinner table. Okay. So every night when it's time for dinner, my ass is going to be at that table with or without them, sitting there waiting for them to show up or telling them we need to show up. Right.
Mhm.
And I got to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. So they understand the value in it or why it's important.
Yep.
What we do is we go, we need to probably sit around the table, and then the first opportunity not to, okay, just tonight we'll watch the TV and we'll do it in the living room. Well, I'm kind of caught up in a class, or, I got to go do this. No, you've got to make it a point.
Yep.
You have to make it a time that's not compromised.
Yep.
I have been married for 25 going on, and I've been with my wife for 26 years. My son is 22. My daughter is 21. Every night we sit at the dinner table. Every night. We don't eat in the living room watching TV. We sit at the table together because we have made it a focal point. Maybe if they're at work or whatever, that happens. But if you're home and you're in our house and it's dinner time, you're at the table, right? So we got to make a decision as a father and as a husband, okay? We can talk about all the things we want to do. And that's the difference between resolutions and resolve. We talk about what we want to do. What are we going to do? What is it we got to do? And if we're going to go, okay, if I say that I want to lose 40 pounds, okay, forget about talking about it. That's all bullshit. What am I going to do? What am I going to do to lose 40 pounds? Am I going to go to the gym every day? Am I going to watch what I eat? Am I going to get up early? Where can I put myself in that equation to make that happen? If I want to build a relationship with my wife, what am I going to do to build that relationship? Are we going to go on walks? Are we going to go out to dinner more? Are we going to date more? Are we going to, find a quiet time every evening and sit down and talk? What are we going to do? And you know what? What am I willing to do to make it happen? Instead of talking all the shit and putting on a bunch of ideas down, do it.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing that I've noticed in my past, in my history. The difference between resolution and resolve is that resolution, you'll talk about it and 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 you'll talk about it. Resolve, you'll start doing it. You'll start taking steps. You skip the bullshit and you get right to the action. Because like I always say, actions are proof why words mean nothing. You know what I mean? So that you can talk and talk and talk, but until you do, it means absolutely nothing. So that's one thing that I've noticed, like when it came to, getting up early and doing breakfast and waking the kids up, I didn't talk about it. I didn't talk about it once. I didn't talk about it to my wife. I didn't talk about it to anybody. It was in my mind made up. Bam. This is what I'm going to do so that I can spend more time with my kids. And I started doing it.
Well, you know what happens, and this happens to a lot of us, when we talk about it, we lose credibility.
Or you talk yourself out of it.
If I come in here and I keep talking about doing this, doing that, and I don't just do it, all it is talk. And pretty soon, people just going to shut you off. They're going to stop listening to what comes out of your mouth. And as a father and as a husband, we cannot afford to have that happen in our houses. We have got to do it. As inconvenient, as painful, as aggravating, as frustrating, as hurtful, as painful as it may be at times, you got to do it. You've got to make the decision that we're not going to do this. We are going to do that. And what am I going to do? Where do I fall into that equation, right? You got to get involved. You got to be vested. That's the difference between talking about it and doing it. That's why, you look at your 401k, just a simple way. There's a certain period of time you give money, and then you got to give it for a certain period of time before you become fully vested, right? Fully vested means it's all yours now, right? It's your money now. Before, it wasn't all yours, right? You get the employer contribution. You've got to give for X amount of years before you can become fully vested. Well, the problem is we don't have people that are fully vested. Mm-hmm. They want to make withdrawals on the money that's not even theirs yet and they're not even fully vested. And we want to reap the benefits and the rewards of what that yields and what that brings without being fully vested. And we rob ourselves Because what happens is if you go like look at your 401k, for instance, you can only take out, you're only vested a certain percent. So you only have a certain amount available to you. If you start taking it out, you're hurting yourself, right?
Yep.
You're not doing yourself any good. And it's the same thing in relationships. When you're not fully vested and you're taking out the, withdrawals and you're not making any deposits, you're in trouble.
You end up empty.
You end up in the negative.
Yep.
And then your wife and your kids are looking at you going, Dad, honey, you're full of shit.
Yep.
You talk a good game. That's all you do is talk.
You become the man with a great idea.
And who wants a bunch of ideas that don't ever make it?
Right.
And then what we do is what we don't realize is that we're creating little people with great ideas and no resolve.
Yeah.
Because they go, well, Dad doesn't do it. Why am I going to do it? People go always bust my balls or say stuff about certain things I'm convicted about. I don't do them because if I do them, the first time I do them, my kid's going to be like, well, Dad, you said don't do that, and you do it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I've lost, right? So we have to have that resolve. Mike was joking around last podcast about my Christmas party. Somebody brought Taco Bell to my house. I'm not going to hate on somebody for bringing I don't eat Taco Bell. I don't buy Taco Bell. That's just me, okay?
Right.
For my own personal reasons. Now, what kind of response you think I would have gotten if my kids and my wife looked over and I was chomping down on tacos from Taco Bell?
Right. It had questioned everything.
True story.
So you just can't do it. Once you have that resolve, right? Case in point, I stopped drinking Monster energy drinks. My daughter, for whatever reason, she started drinking. So I got my son drinking and my daughter drinking. My fault, because I introduced him to him, right? So I stopped drinking Monster energy drinks and started drinking another energy drink because of own personal reasons, right? And I'll go in the fridge and I may not have an energy drink, and there may be 12, 13 Monsters in that fridge. I'm not taking that Monster.
Right.
Why? Because I've got the resolve that I don't drink Monster anymore.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We have to have resolve as men. And that's what the world is lacking, is men don't have resolve. They make all kinds of resolutions,
right,
ideas and promises and things that they want to do, could do, should do, would do. But that's just laced in a bunch of excuses. And all an excuse is a skin of reason stuff full of a lie. So at the end of the day, I guess when we're sitting here talking about these things, we've got to make some tough decisions as men. Do I want to be a man of ideas and thoughts, or do I want to be a man of action? Do I want to be a talker, or do I want to be a doer? Do I want to be making resolutions, or do I want to live a life of resolve? Regardless of what time of the year it is, we're coming to 2024 now. And here we are, another year. They say another year, a new you. No, it's another year. It's the same old you. What are you going to do with it? That's the questions you got to ask yourself. If there's things in your life that you need or want to change, then do it. But understand, don't talk about it. Let me tell you, people are waiting for you to fail. People are just waiting. If the first you come in bragging about how you died and you working out, the first time they see you eating a cookie or a cheeseburger, they're going to be in your ass talking about, dude, I thought you were going to be losing weight over there pounding them cheeseburgers again, you fat ass, right? They can't wait. They cannot wait. And it's the same thing with our children. They cannot wait to see dad screw up so they can say, well, dad does it. Even our spouses to some degree. Well, you said don't do this, but you do it. You better hold true to what you're saying and what you're doing. You better have the resolve to make it happen. Because if you don't, all you're creating in the four walls of your home is resentment, contradiction, and frustration. And in the word, it tells us don't aspirate your children, right? Don't frustrate your children. Don't mess with your kids. Don't aggravate them just to aggravate them, right? And that's what's frustrating and aggravating. And that's what we see a lot of time in our culture today is a lot of talkers and not a lot of doers. And kids don't respect that. Talk a lot of shit, Dad, but you don't do it yourself. And I'll close on this. I mean, I had a friend of mine years ago that's telling me about how his son is having a problem looking at pornography. And then when his phone goes off, his ringtone is got something sexual and pornographic going off as his ringtone. And I'm thinking, dude, you're talking about your son having a problem with this. Look what the example is you're laying in front of him. You want your son to be a man of resolve? Be one yourself. Be a man of action. Be a man of conviction. That's what a real man is. And when you do that, my friends, well, hell, that's when the rubber meets the road.